Welcome to my home.
You mean my home?
Okay, it's neither of our homes.
But it is our podcast.
Glitter and gay.
Coming your way.
So thanks for tuning in today.
The defining moment of the change of my life came in July of 2017 when I was at Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within. And
what did you think of that event? I've never done it.
oh, interesting. So I was at Unleash the Power Within. I decided to go. It had been a rough year for Lucas. And he was really struggling. And I was trying as a mother to help him find his way, maybe. Mm-hmm. And I was very worried about him and where he was, like the mental space that he was in. I was super concerned about him. And then I signed us up for Unleash the Power Within and didn't tell him.
Oh, wait. You brought him with you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because I felt like that I was losing him. I felt like he was depressed. He was really, really struggling. And I said, we're going to go to New York. Are you good with that? And he's like, yeah, that's great. That's great. And so we get on the flight and I said, oh, by the way, we're going to go to this Tony Robbins event. And he's like, oh, okay. What day is that? And I'm like, well, it's actually the next 4 days. And he's like, no.
How old was he? Was he 17 at the time?
He was 16.
Mm-hmm.
He just turned 16. And he's like, no. And I'm like,
I can't imagine being 16 and somebody being like, we're going to a self-help seminar for 4 days.
and we went and he was not happy. I mean, we got there and he was not happy. And we got through day one and then we're getting, and you know, if you've ever been to a Tony Robbins event.
I've never been.
Oh, my stars and stripes. So you get there at like 7:00 in the morning and you stand in line and it's real rah, 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 rah. And this is in Newark, New Jersey, the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. I've never been to Newark.
You can fill out that kind of stadium?
Standing room only. It was 14,000 people. And
because it's a really expensive event, right?
Oh my God.
I was about to say it's like a concert venue, but concert tickets are like $150.
Oh, but there was not a $150 ticket. Oh, sorry. I forgot to turn off my phone.
That's fine. We haven't really started the episode yet.
I bought the VIP tickets for both of us. And
it's like a couple grand to attend, isn't it, right?
Oh, yeah. Fly us up there. The hotel rooms, when there's Tony Robbins in town, I paid $441 a night for a Spring Hill Suites in Newark, New Jersey.
They were loving those Tony Robbins margins.
It was insane. So anyway, so we go and you get there at 7:00 in the morning. You stay till midnight, and then we go through day one, and he's like, okay. And then we go to day two and do the fire walk. And he's going to do the fire walk. I am not going to do the firework because I have USTA playoffs when we get back, and I'm not doing anything that could damage my feet. And so Lucas walks on the hot coals, and he is just he is indoctrinated at this point, and he's like he's biting in. Like I can see this shift, and he's biting in. And so we get to day 4, and you've let everything out, and you've basically been reborn again into like this mental belief system, this belief in yourself. And he was taller than me at that point. He's 16 and he's taller than me at that point. And he puts his arms around me and my head is on his chest and I can hear his heart beating. Almost as if he were in the womb. Like, I can hear it. I can feel it. And he whispers in my ear, I'm never going to forget these 4 days with you. I love you so much. And he kisses me on top of my head. And it was in that very second, in that very moment in time that stood still for me. And from that very second of my life, I said, this is what I want to feel. I want a lifetime of moments that are strung together like this. And from that moment, my singular goal in life has been to duplicate that feeling for myself and every person that I touch, and string together a moment of lifetime, a lifetime of moments in time.
Oh, that might be my favorite one you've told. I love that. And also, I mean, it's such like a special relationship between, like, my mom is my biggest fan, and she always she's like, I only have unconditional love for 2 things, and it's my boys. She's like, every single thing else is conditional. She's like, but you can do nothing wrong. She was like, I will get upset with you. She's like, but I will always be there for you, and I will always love you no matter what it is, like. And it's such like and to hear, because I could also put myself in Lucas's shoes if my mom was like, we're going to a self-help seminar for 4 days in Newark, New Jersey. We're going to share a hotel. I'd be like, are you kidding me? And now I've like met Lucas, and I just think he's such like a special little kid. You know what I mean? There's just something about him. He shot up. He's 6'4", runs over, gives me a hug. I was like, you're not awkward at all. I was like, you know exactly who you are. Like, and anyway, it's.
Lucas got the best of me and the best of Wilson. He 1000% has the X factor. Wilson, I never forget this woman. Wilson and I are going through a divorce, and this woman goes, I just want you to know I love Wilson. And he had his company had painted her house multiple times.
She's faking it by the end.
Yeah.
She's like, I think I want to try pink.
Right, exactly. And she goes, I just want you to know I love Wilson. And I'm like, oh, that's great. She goes, oh yes. She goes, that will never ever change. And I looked at her and I said, let me guess. He told you that your eyes are the same color as his grandmother. That every time he looks in your eyes, he thinks about how special his relationship was with his grandmother. Let me guess, he talks really softly to you with that beautiful Colombian accent. And he never, ever looks away. It doesn't matter. I'm always going to love Wilson. I literally, like, every time, and the woman had beautiful eyes, and she had this olive complexion, and she was a very attractive woman. And she was married, but Wilson, I'm telling you, that man, That man, he could read you a recipe and literally make your clothes fall off. It was just like the guy's accent was hilarious. I mean, it was just, it was literally, I mean,
I kind of feel like I need to meet him.
did I
What's
tell-
he doing tonight? Can he join us for dinner?
oh, he would join us. He's the life of the party. So did I tell you about the text message with him?
Yes.
Is that so funny?
Like, you can't share my secret.
Did I tell you on podcast?
No, you said. I think actually we did, but you
Okay.
also sent me a screenshot of the
Oh my
text. You were like,
God.
uh-oh.
FML. That's
Yeah.
what I was like.
Yeah.
No, I'm so fortunate. I have a great relationship with my with Victoria's dad. I have a great relationship with Lucas's dad. I mean, it's just every time I think about, my kids, I look at who was the other person that I was fortunate enough to love so much to create a person with. And I have to say,
And they both turned out so special.
oh God, yeah. I mean, it's crazy because, like, of course, I look like I'm the common denominator, and everyone's so awesome. But I mean, they're so different. It's hard for me to take like total credit because they're so different.
Yeah.
And my relationship with both of them, is so different. I remember this girl, Chardell said, or it might have been Rhonda now that I think about it. Rhonda and Chardell, they were the home warranty girls. And they always came together. And one of them, and I'm almost positive it was Rhonda, said to me, that's going to make me crazy which one it was. But anyway, so they said to me, your daughter will be your best friend and your son will be the love of your life. And, it's kind of funny because I look at Victoria and she is absolutely like my best friend. Like, and it's kind of strange because, now that I'm single and dating and talking about dating and sex and stuff, it's kind of strange,
Do you love that we're making sex the finale? Just so people know, next week when they tune in, we're talking about sex.
Oh, should I save this story?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's kind of why. I
Oh, is
pinged
that why
it
you
just
stopped
then.
me? Is that
but I
why-
also want to give the people a taste. Yeah, we're talking sex next week.
We are talking sex next week.
Well, of course, I say it like a predator and you say it like a teacher. I'm like, we're talking sex next week. And you said, we are talking sex next week. Like, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know.
So, do you know that my girlfriend, that her son was like the inventor of the 1-900 number?
Really?
Do you even know what 1-900 numbers are?
Does he live on West Paces Ferry now?
Do you know what they were from Houston?
Oh.
Yeah. And he invented the 1-900 number in his dorm room.
I kind of feel, I guess, are we in this episode now?
I don't know what is the episode.
The episode is supposed to be about time and deployment of energy. But I actually think you've done a beautiful job of talking about special time shared, right?
Yeah.
And I think-
And the deployment of your energy.
Totally.
Like pouring your energy into something that you love, like your kids or your work or your business or your partner. And I am an absolute like protector of my time and energy. Like when negative Nancy like walks through the door, I am like, woo, I'm out. Peace out, man. Like I have no interest in being around anybody who is like a blood sucking vampire.
Right. But I think what's going to be fascinating to talk about, because it's like we all have those people, right?
Yeah.
We all have the vampires. We've all got the negative people.
Yeah.
What I want to learn from you is like you're going through a huge Glennda shift right now, right?
Yes.
Like your
Yeah.
business has gotten a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And now opportunities have started to show up. And you're much, much, much more of a yes person than me. I say no a lot, but I watch you and you're yesing. You're like, sure, I'll be there. I'll do that. And it looks like you're pulling it all off. It looks like you're maintaining happiness. And it also looks like you're still fitting in the quality lifetime, because that's always been my thing, is I was like, I'm going to say yes to enough things, but I am working to fund a great life. That's my thing. I'm trying to live a big, great life. And then I look at you and I was like, does she have more time than me? Because the answer is no. We all have the same amount of time in a given moment, in a given day, in a given week. But I look at you and I'm like, how is she keeping up with the growth of her business? How is she keeping up with all of these new demands from her public image life? And then still making her family and her friends feel like they are the center of her world. And fourth, keeping up with all of the people who reach out to you and just want like a little bit of attention. That's just, you know, those are the first to go in my book. I'm like, I love you guys. I'm like, it feels so good to hear from you. But I'm like, I don't have time to like go through all of my DMs and respond to everybody every day. And it feels like, and you're actually doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to tell you, I think that part of the success of my social media success is the fact that I'm really in there. I'm the one posting the videos. I'm the one answering comments. I'm the one responding to the DMs. I love sending people voice messages through DM. I love FaceTiming people. I love sending people videos. It's so much easier for me to shoot a quick video. When I was at Tom Ferry, so many people were like, oh gosh, I'm so sad my wife isn't here, or my husband isn't here, or my brother isn't here, or my sister isn't here, and they love you so much, they're going to die that they didn't get the chance to meet you. I'm like, give me your phone. And I'm like, hey, this is Glennda. I'm so sorry you're not here. I heard you're a huge Glendarati. I love that. And I just think that, in all honesty, just whatever you put out, you get back. So like life is such a like boomerang, whatever you call that thing. Like, I just honestly believe 1000% whatever you put out, you get back. I mean, as an example, I jump out of the car at valet. The first thing I ask, hey, my name's Glennda. What's your name? My name's Hassan. Hey, Hassan, I'm so happy to meet you. Like, thank you so much. I don't need a ticket, do I? Oh, no, I'll remember you.
Of course. No, that was exactly what happened.
And so I'm not dismissing or diminishing people based on where they are in my food chain of life.
And I respect that. I get that. What I'm trying to figure out is how you do it, though. Like,
It's quick. Everything is time blocked. Everything is organized. Oh, you weren't with me this morning. Denver was with me this morning. I sat outside on the deck. I have my routine. I typically do not deviate from that routine. Like, Jewel and I have an issue with a house. Like, it's a foundation issue. Like, it's a big issue. Mm-hmm. I used to get really whacked out if I missed like an email or a text message. And I'm just so honest. I just say like, oh, my Stars and Stripes, I'm so sorry I missed your message. Like, thank you for reaching out to me again. I'm sorry you had to reach out to me multiple times to get my attention, but I'm here right now. If you need me, don't ever hesitate to pick up the phone and call me. Like, you know, I mean, but I keep everything very short and sweet. What has become, admittedly, what has become a little bit of a challenge is send me a text, tag me in a post, give me a call. That's what I love the most. Like, they really do call me. And I'm a real estate agent that sells houses.
So you pick up.
And I pick up the phone. And it's like, hey, Glennda, this is Matt from Missouri. Hey, Glennda, this is Susie from Seattle. And I'm like, holy shit. Oh, I just wanted to ask you about video. I have to tell you, the whole pick my brain thing, I'm not really big on that. Mm-hmm. But I just think that, you know, just take a moment.
So I had a similar experience right when my first episode of $1 Million Listing aired. Towards the end of that, they share my weight loss story. And, you know, that's the story I wanted out there. That's kind of the direction I've been sharing with you, that I kind of like want to take my vision and my brand of kind of like what I'm trying to build towards. And I got thousands of messages overnight, that first night. And I'm laying in bed, and you have to like get into the state that I'm in, because this is a dream come true for me, right? And it is like Fat Tyler is, and that's all I think about is like, what would Fat Tyler think right now? The kid that like just didn't think any of this stuff was ever going to happen for him, who just like, I was like, and you are in this moment. And we rented out a movie theater, Triple Mint had rented out a movie theater. There were hundreds of people there, and we watched the first episode, and then we threw this huge party afterward. It was the best night of my life. It was on, I'll never forget it. And my phone is exploding. I mean, it's just exploding with people coming out of the woodwork and like friends from all, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so proud. And, you know, we went to high school together. We went to middle school together. And I go home, I lived alone, and I crawl into bed, and I just slowly start reading the messages one by one. And they were the most beautiful messages, and I would say 90% of them were people who had had the same weight loss surgery as me, and they were like, and it's so great to see this representation on a TV show like $1 Million Listing, and so great that you're sharing your story. And I responded to it took me 2 days. I responded to every single one of them, and I was on like such a high, and it quickly shifted, because once I was in conversation with them and it said something nice, it opened up a floodgate.
Right.
And it got overwhelming. I was literally getting a couple thousand messages a day from people who had had the same surgery as me. And I was trying to make all of them feel like they were the only ones, right? I was like, isn't that like the goal? Like, you want to make everybody feel like they're, and so anyway, I quickly lost. I couldn't keep up. I just could not keep up. I was like, this would be like 3 full-time jobs responding to all of these. And they all turned on me. And I started getting the nastiest messages of, this has already gone to your head. You were engaging with me, and now you're not. And anyway, and so honestly, my agent was the one who was like, it's pretty challenging to keep up with DMs. And he was like, my recommendation is engage with people in comments. He's like, it's much more manageable. And he was like, and it doesn't turn into a never ending conversation, but it shows that you appreciate. And he was like, in DMs, he was like, you know, if it's somebody you actually have a relationship with. And so that's how I've managed it, you know. And for me, that was like, after that first, and that was, when was that first on the show? 2019. So it's been, 3 years now since that moment happened. But since then, I rarely respond to DMs because of that. I was like, it just gets so unmanageable. Now I get way less. There was kind of like that initial influx. And so now
you're a little bit gun shy.
Oh, I'm so gun shy.
Yeah.
It would be manageable now, because like I go and I read, and I still get a lot every day, but it's not thousands like it was when I first got on the show.
So obviously I haven't been on a television show, and I don't get thousands of messages.
But in your platform, I also think the most common place is for people to comment on your videos.
It's commenting on my videos, but I will give you just a little tip. First off, I'm going to say somebody took their time to invest in you and make you feel amazing. How would it feel if you just hearted it, the message? Just hearted it. You didn't have to respond with anything. You just hearted it. And then also, if you did an Instagram live and you said, oh, my stars and stripes, I got so many messages about my weight loss journey. I just kind of wanted to open up Instagram live and just do a little ask me anything for 15 minutes. And one of the messages that someone sent me, and you would mention the person's name. And I think that it's almost like a wide brush stroke, but you still have that same impact. So for me, whether it's my children, whether it's my team, whether it's my friends, they took their time to make a little deposit into me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's building my little love account.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take that same energy and deposit it back.
And I respect you for it. And I want to do the same. It was I don't know. I think it was borderline a traumatic experience for me.
I know. I think you're gun shy, but we're going to get you back into some general responses. I really want you to do that because you're about to embark on a new reality show, and this is the thing: is Kylie Jenner is not responding
right
to DMs. Dwight Howard isn't responding to DMs, so. He's a basketball player.
I was like, I knew the first one.
Oh my. Do you know what? I'm just going to make a little footnote here. I know Dwight Howard. He's a client of mine. You've never, ever met somebody who transfers joy and happiness like this guy. The guy has this huge smile, 7 feet tall, basketball player, The guy is literally like a ball of joy. Like when he hugs you, when he sees you and he smiles. When I talk about deployment of energy, and I think about Dwight Howard, like that is like how when he like looks and smiles at me, I'm like, oh my stars.
What does that mean? He's on is it the Falcons? Is that the local team?
Dwight, I'm so sorry. He's not a sports person. Dwight Howard
is the Atlanta Falcons.
That's football.
Oh. Wait, what's the basketball team then?
It's the Hawks.
Well, at least I didn't say the Braves. I knew the Braves was baseball.
Yeah, because they won the World Series.
And I've been to a Braves game.
Really? I thought about taking us to a Braves game. Back to Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard did play for the Hawks, but he was drafted by the Orlando Magic, and then he played for the Lakers. He's played for several teams, but I always think about how he makes me feel. And because he's a big celebrity. Hines, big celebrity. Robin, big celebrity. And it's funny because all 3 of those people, Savage, all 4 of those people, like when they, like smile at me, like it makes me feel like,
I'm talking about the DMs, honey. One-on-one, I love it. I mean, you saw me today. I was soaking it up.
You were so good today.
But that's where I'm at my best. Like
you are a good in-person person.
Oh, for sure. I'm like, that's where you need to get me.
That's why the Instagram Live would work well for you.
Do you think?
Oh, my stars and stripes. Absolutely.
So I've only done Instagram Live like 2 or 3 times, and it's usually me jokingly asking to be added into somebody else's Instagram Live, and I always do it with strangers. I did it with you once, but usually I'll just like randomly be on like somebody's Instagram Live, and I'm like, I wonder if they'll let me in. Like, why not? Because I just think it's funny.
I told you about getting on that guy's Instagram.
You did.
And he goes, yeah, it's Glennda Faker. No, but we were talking about time. We're talking about deployment of energy. And I think that you have to be a protector of your energy. I think that you have to be a protector of your time. And if you ask me, how do I have so much time? It's because I am vigilant about my time. And I wrote this for the 5 a.m. call, and it was, I'm so protective of my time at this place in my life. Because remember, I probably have a lot less time left than you do. And I wrote in this, it's the 5 a.m. call is a call to greatness. Mm-hmm. And
I've been on a few of them.
And so I had the opportunity to speak, and I talked about people that steal my time.
It keeps buzzing. I'm sorry.
I know, and it's annoying me.
Well, I know. I didn't realize.
There's this thing called airplane mode.
It's about to go on it.
Okay,
I'm
good.
so glad. Thank you for introducing me to this thing I've never heard of.
Yeah, Glennda Evangelista,
Area.
airplane mode, and TMZ.
Okay. The things I've learned
Yeah.
through Glitter and Gay.
Okay,
It's an educational
Could
series.
you please listen to me? So in this
listening.
thing I wrote, like, I get so angry when someone steals my time. We were talking about it in the car. Remember, we were talking about the invitations to podcasts and stuff. And then we find out that the podcast is really not an interview. It's more of like a training session for, their own group.
Yeah.
And I am so angry when someone steals my time. It makes my head spin around, snot fly out of my nose. So the reason that it appears and the reason that I do have so much time is because I'm very protective of it. And because the way I deploy my energy is with people that I truly have an interest in, people that I want to be around, and other people I just don't ever be around them.
Yeah. The one is, so there's like this theory that like life is short. You have to take advantage of the time that you have. And I totally get that. I posted a video a couple months back. Everybody talking about how life is short. I'm definitely somebody who thinks life is long, and we can also get caught up. It can backfire when we talk about life being short, because a lot of people, I know I have spent a lot of my life feeling like I am too late to the game. So like, why even get started? And, because I'm just like, oh, like I should already be more successful. Like I've already missed the boat on X, Y, and Z. And so I think some people can look at it backwards. And the truth of the matter is that like, I mean, you've shared a few times this season about, you're worrying about your body not lasting as long or fulfilling the quality of life for as long as you want. And then even just now you're like, you've got more time than me. Well, firstly, we don't know that.
We don't.
Anything can happen.
Right.
I could get hit by a car and you could be the first person to live to 200.
Yeah.
I did listen. I don't know if this is a fact, but on a podcast, I did hear that the first person to live to be 200 is alive today.
I don't know that I believe that, but that's a topic for another day.
It is. But I'm just saying, life is not that short.
No.
Life can go on and on and on.
But
and we don't know where science is going to take us. We don't know where these things. Oh, you are getting. I am triggering something within you.
Forever has an expiration date. Don't ever forget that.
It does. And nothing lasts forever.
Nothing
I get
lasts
it.
forever.
But you're also, in my opinion, you're also like never too late. And
No,
I think
you're never too late.
And I do think the way that society puts pressure on time makes certain people, me being one of them, feel like, then why even get started? If I've already missed the boat.
That's such an excuse. That's such a lame excuse. Why even get started? Why even get started? Because you were born for greatness. We were all born to be the best version of ourselves. And you are not doing justice to yourself when you are not living to your full potential. Period. Bottom line. I have nothing more to say about that.
I hear you, but I'm saying like, I like knowing that I'm not late. Like I have time to do this. I don't have to talk myself out of it. Like there is a long, beautiful road ahead of me. I think time feels short when we're looking behind us because everything feels like it has just flown by.
Well, that's looking back with regret and not looking forward with reflection.
Well, I think, listen, even if it's something that I'm neutral about, if I look back on something that I'm neutral, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I'm like that. That feels like a lifetime ago and yesterday.
What do they say? There's a reason the rearview mirror is small and the windshield is big.
Oh, no, I haven't heard that, but it's cute.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to be looking back. You're supposed to be looking forward.
Yeah.
Kind of like your buffalo.
Totally. I think in sobriety, when they're talking about your past, they say, look, don't stare.
You're not going that way.
Well, you know what I am going towards? The Pineapple Express.
You know what? Wouldn't it be kind of cool if people started sending us pineapple stuff?
I would love that. Let's give them your address. She's at
Tyler, don't do that.
I know.
Okay, like really,
Wait, but how do people send stuff here?
I have no idea, but we really do not need my home address being as available as my phone number. It's 20. Let me just explain something to you. It is 2022. If you think that you can't find out where someone lives,
Of course.
as long as you haven't had anything delivered by Amazon, no problemo.
Well, listen, when I bought my house in Sag Harbor, it was in like 7 publications. Tyler Whitman buys Sag Harbor house, price, address, previous. I mean, everything was in there. The story of the house. So I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
So to that man in Tennessee, if you really think we're supposed to be in love, I shouldn't be saying shit like that. Let's go to the voicemail.
Let's do that.
Hi, Tyler and Glenda. I was curious, since Tyler is gay, have you faced any like discrimination as a real estate agent? I know that gay people have been very hated against for a long time. So I was just curious if how that's affected your real estate career a lot, or has it not at all? So yeah, that's my question, and thank you. Bye.
I have no idea who that is.
Me either.
So I have, not in my career. No, I've never faced any sort, at least not that I've known about, not that I've ever felt. But it's worth noting as I say that I live in New York City, probably, I mean, maybe the most, progressive gay community and community of acceptance there. And I've also never faced it in the Hamptons. And I just want to say this because I think this surprises a lot of people. But when they hear that I'm from the South, they're like, oh my God, what was that like? And I was definitely very lucky because my parents were very supportive. I came out of the closet at a very young age, and 2 wide open, loving arms. There were a few bullies in high school. I was mainly bullied for my weight, though. And to be honest, because I came out of the closet when I was a freshman in high school. And so that was 99. And when it wasn't as crazy, but it certainly wasn't as easy and mainstream as it is today. Will and Grace was out, and Will and Grace was, in my opinion, a pivotal moment for, it was almost kind of like Jack and Will. People were like, oh, I want one of those, And so I came out of the closet in like that era of that happening. And that was kind of like what I was met with, even in the South. I have been so lucky, and it's probably due to the fact of where I've lived, the fact that I'm a white guy, that I have felt almost zero discrimination around my sexuality. And, I'm so grateful for it because I also have a lot of friends who are from the South who came from very conservative families who have absolutely like horrific nightmare stories. And, so when people ask me, because I've been asked that many times, I've been asked like, what's it like being a gay man trying to build a business and break into real estate, or what was it like being a gay man in the South? And the more times I'm asked it, the more I realize like just how fortunate I am, because I don't even think about it until somebody asks me about it. And then I'm like, oh, they're asking me about it because there's some like horror stories out there. I have to be honest. I am not one of those horror stories. Have you ever heard of anything like that happening? Because I feel like there's also just a lot of gay people in real estate. I mean, it's at least in New York City, there's a lot of real estate gays.
Well, I mean, I think that, yes, there's definitely, gay people in real estate in Atlanta. I wouldn't even begin to, assume how they're treated. My my bonus daughter is a lesbian, and
I didn't know that.
oh yeah,
Oh, interesting.
And I love that she's found comfort in her sexual orientation. I think that no matter where you are in life, once you become more comfortable with yourself, no matter what you are, it really is like the beginning of living. And you know, my first husband was from Peru. My second husband was from Colombia, South America.
You got to type.
Oh, I do.
Where was the third one from?
Boston.
Oh.
Yeah. But so I've seen, I remember one time that somebody called Victor a spick.
Ugh.
And back in the olden days, I was not able to maintain control of my temper like I am now. And he was playing indoor soccer, and his team was beating this other team, and this guy goes, "Go ahead, go on, Spick." And I lost my mind. I lost my mind. And I was going out there on that field, and I never will forget Victor and Adolfo and Juan holding me back because I was ready to go off on that guy. Discrimination of any type. I can't imagine how it must feel to be attacked like that. Mm-hmm. My heart just wants to like protect you, like that mama bear, you know?
Yeah.
So I hope that nobody's being mean to this man.
I hope so too.
Yeah. Feel my hugs.
FMH.
Yeah, FMH.
See y'all next week when it's going to be a different time of FMH. And until then, if you could like and share and comment, because y'all going to want to tune in next week.